Hey, it's Wildjosh and Geek-Cetera, or as my parents would call it, the Geek-Cetera. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Season 1, Episode 3, The Sin. I'm going to talk about some things I liked, some things I didn't like, and maybe a couple theories, and let's get into it.
We're going to talk about geeky things.
Woohoo! So, I'm going to start with what I liked about the episode, and there was a lot of different things I liked. First off, I thought the whole episode was very engaging. I was just like sitting there glued to the screen the entire time, and I guess that's been the case with most of the other ones. I think the first one maybe had a couple spots where I wasn't really super engaged, but not many. And the second one was a ride the whole way through too. So season 3 is keeping right up with the pace, and I love that. So what did I love? First off, one of the things that I picked off pretty early on in the episode that I loved was Willrow Hood. Let me get that out. Willrow Hood. There was a nod to him early on in the episode. I thought it was fantastic. I caught it right away. I was like yelling at my wife, "That's Willrow Hood safe." But anyways, it's not really Willrow Hood safe. But if we remember in Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5, as many of the citizens of Cloud City are fleeing, we see a man in a orange jumpsuit fleeing Cloud City, holding under his arm what appears to be a 1980 something ice cream maker, and it kind of blew up. It was quite a thing. And then they even made a Hasbro figure, or a toy figure of him with his little ice cream maker, which we were told through various different accounts that it was possibly like a hard drive look-like device or a safe, and it was kind of left up to, I guess, our imagination. There maybe have been something in canon besides this that answered that, but I don't know that there was. But we got an answer for what he was holding for sure in the Sin episode. The Sin, it was a safe. So the safe that comes in with the client brings in, that is full of Beskar steel, and he opens up, that is what Willrow Hood had under his arm as he was fleeing Cloud City. So he was fleeing Cloud City clearly we can know with something valuable in a safe. That's what Willrow Hood was leaving, and thus he's a hero. He was not just stealing an ice cream maker, he was taking something of value with him. Anyways, I thought that was a cool nod to the original trilogy. And then along with that, going a lot further along in the story, the Mandalorian now is this just awesome guy. He's like famous. People, in the guild, they might not love him because he got one of the better bounties. But the guild master, Grief Karga, loves him because he got him a commission and then is putting him on the map. So anyways, and then he picks up another bounty. He heads out to a ship, and you go, is he really going to leave the yodeling? I didn't think he was. It didn't seem like that's where the series was going to head, that he was just going to go pick up another bounty and keep on going. And that yodeling thing, Yoda-ling, I'm calling him because people call him Yoda, Baby Yoda. I don't love that because he's not Yoda, but we don't know what his species is. So Yoda-ling. Anyways, he goes back, he rescues the yodeling, but in the meantime, in between there, I guess before he gets on his ship and takes another bounty, he goes and visits the Mandalorians, and he gets himself a new suit of Beskar steel armor, and he looks awesome. The steel is really cool. We see he's got some flashbacks when he's hammering that steel out, and when it's being hammered out, and Super Friendly from Geek-Cetera put up a theory on his flashback. You can check that out in our theory section on the YouTube channel. And then finally he picks up that bounty. He doesn't leave. He goes and rescues the yodeling, which was awesome. That whole scene was really cool. Sneaking around in the Imperial base, taking them all out, getting the yodeling, rescuing him. I love how he uses his new weapon on his wrist called Whistling Birds. That was a cool scene. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy and his arrow that he uses. Just a little bit, but anyways. And then he leaves, and then all the bounty hunters now, and pretty much the whole planet were after him, or that city at least. And I'm guessing they're going to go further beyond that as well. But they were all after him, and the Mandos come and rescue save the day. And it ends basically with the Mandalorian escaping, and the Mandos, the other Mandalorians, are now going to have to find a new place to hide out. So, thought that was cool. What I did not like about this episode, which was actually a very, it was really hard to pick out what I did not like. I guess my one critique for it would be, to me, these Mandalorians come back, or not these bounty hunters, come back to their cantina or whatever, and they have the tracking fob that was to this bounty, and they didn't get it. The Mandalorian did. So to me, it wouldn't seem like every single one and his mother would have one still. It seems like as soon as you hear that the bounty's gone, you go, I don't need that anymore, and you chuck it. But legitimately, like, every person in this town was like, oh, I still have mine, and it's telling me that it's right there. So that was a little like, really? Like, that many people? Like, I could have seen like some of them, but not every single person, like, all of a sudden going, oh, we need to go after him. It also seemed very quick for it to get turned back on. That, I don't know. I guess I don't know how these fobs work. But it seemed to me odd that, like, right away, like, he rescues the kid and leaves, and all of a sudden everyone's after him. And I would have thought that there would have had to be maybe the client turning something back on, like, hey, we're back after this kid, we need this bounty again. I don't know. It seemed like it happened so quickly, and we didn't even see the client when the Mando went back in to the base to rescue the yodeling. So a small gripe. What else didn't I like? No, I think I liked everything. I liked it all. It was pretty good. Yeah, I don't have any other gripes. Now, theories. First off, Super Friendly made a theory video, and he talked about the flashback scene where he called, where he mentioned my theory, which was the fact that the Mandalorian was not always a Mandalorian, that he was rescued by the Mandalorians, and he spoke about that, but he never gave me credit. I don't have like an ego or anything. I don't need, props when props are due, but I just thought that was an interesting thing that he specifically mentioned a theory of mine that I hadn't heard anyone else talk about and didn't give me credit. So there's that. And then also I think that in that flashback scene, which he didn't really talk about too much, he talked about what maybe he's relearning his memories as he's going, and that's why we're seeing it. So as the audience is learning the Mandalorian's memories, that he's also relearning it. I don't think so. I think it might be as the machine is hammering and pounding that steel out, it is triggering something almost like a repressed, not really a repressed memory, because I think he remembers these memories clearly, but I think it is like a PTSD kind of thing, post-traumatic stress, where that was a very stressful moment. So when he hears the loud bangs of that machine and the hammering of that steel, that it's sending him back to that place where he was when he was a kid, because the sounds are triggering. So kind of like when a veteran of a war comes home, and he might have panic attacks every time he hears fireworks in the future, because those sounds remind him of what he went through when he was involved in battle. I think that's what's happening here with the Mandalorian. When he hears that hammering sound, it sounds like the shells and the rockets of the attack on whatever village or where his people were, and that's why he's having these memories come back up into mind. I think it's very clear that those memories are his memories and that he is the little boy. And I think that when he is put in that hold and the doors are closed over him and then they're open and we see that battle droid standing there, I think the next scene immediately after that, if we see it in the flashback scene, it is her smashing some casing off of the steel and revealing it. I think what it is really going to be is some missile or something coming in and smashing that droid, and it's going to be a Mandalorian who steps into view, and he took out the droid and rescued the kid. So that's what I think. But I kind of already theorized about that, so it's not like I had to do my own theory video. And I'm really curious as to where it's going to go now. So, yeah, I got one more thing to say. I just kind of came to mind. I should have wrote it down. I don't want to lose it. Everyone's been griping about how short these that's probably the biggest gripe from everyone, is how short these episodes are. Under 40 minutes each of them. And really, when you consider that number is including the intro and is including the credits at the end, so it's actually much shorter, probably right around 30 minutes each, which is short. People were expecting full hour episodes of these. And my gripe would be right now anyways, is that after seeing the first three, there's no reason 1 and 2 could not have been the same episode. They could have tied those together, made 1 hour-long episode, and they would have tied in perfectly. There was no I understand the reason for, I guess, for ending 1 where they did, because it was a huge reveal that the bounty or the target was a Yoda-ling. But I don't see why they couldn't have done that and then gone right into episode 2 in the same episode, just one episode, and it had been an hour long. They were both took place on the same planet, and they could have ended episode 1 where episode 2 ended. Now, this would have been episode 2 in my mind, the start of it, and they could have stretched what happened in this episode alone. They could have made 2 episodes. They could have made an hour-long episode out of it, for sure. No doubt. There was so much there with his thinking, with what was going on in the Mandalorian Enclave, with the battle at the end, and how all the bounty hunters were ticked at him when he came back after getting this bounty. There was so much they could have done that they should have had no issue making this a 45-minute to an hour episode on its own. And it could have ended exactly where it ended, with him taking off out into space, and we're left to wonder, where's he going? What's he doing? Is he going to just go back to bounty hunting somewhere else? What is he going to do? Because now everyone is after him. So yeah, so that would be one of my dislikes. I should have put that in my dislike column, but it's just that episode 1 and 2, episode 1 the pilot and episode 2 the child, they could have been one episode, and then this one here could have been an episode that was longer in length and covered more, because there was so much that happened there. But that's my only minor thing. So let me know what you think. What do you think about the Mandalorian so far? Do you wish it was longer? Do you wish they were doing different things? I know I've heard people say that they wish they were just talking about the rebuilding of the Mandalorians, because that's a cool enough story alone. Never mind throwing in this other thing with this baby yodeling. So, but yeah, tell me what you think in the comments, and also be sure to like the video if you thought we did a good job. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.